Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. We are back with ship evolution again. And of course we last left off with making our Gobble Gobble ship. It's a welding ship that is designed like a turkey. So on to a new ship. So let's get started. Alright, so instead of making a sibling with the same design, I'm thinking that we change it up and make something even more rudimentary than this. So then we can have a grinding ship. More portable, smaller grinding ship than the one we have there, because it's like a lot harder to aim at the specific stuff that we need to aim for. Because if we accidentally grind something down and leave it floating, it's gonna start losing the reputation. So that's not exactly what we want, but I mean it's gonna happen here and there. So an example like this here, the button panel, if I haven't taken it over yet, yep. Let's just say if I grind this part down first and left this hanging, and then start grinding it down, you start to lose the rep, as you see there. But of course, if we pass the hack line, then it should be fine. But yeah, that's where we lose rep. But I think we lost more than enough rep with this specific faction, so we're in the red. I think it started the O, or is it the UDMN? One of these. Wow, it's pretty bad. This is not good at all. And we have a good collection of these ships that just keep coming here. So as they come here, we just take them up, take them down basically, and we're gonna recycle the parts basically. And it's got a lot and lots of ion thrusters, so that's what we need. All right, so we're gonna get on with it and build ourselves a bit of a grinding ship. Nothing too big, nothing too small, I guess. Doesn't necessarily need to be huge. So as long as it has enough thrusters, I guess 6 ways, we should be fine. I'm thinking of building it off of here because it's got the 2 batteries that are pretty decently full. Actually 4 batteries, 2 here and 2 here, so I can combine them together eventually if necessary. Okay, so I'm thinking of making something as simple as it can be. So these batteries can be probably on kind of like the cargo container. We're gonna make a large cargo container in this case here. Either we stick it up top or middle, or I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do this. Or maybe something like this. So it sticks out in the back on the cargo container. So this is going to be the back side, I'm assuming. So we'll grab our large cargo container. So I want to build off a large cargo container. And I'm going to put the cargo piece over there. So basically the cargo container will be attached right over, let's see, that's fine. Yep, right over there. And then it will be attached to back here, roughly. So all the grinding will be up front, and eventually I'll just move it close here and merge into these right over here. So we could just throw 2 blocks like this. Get a merge on it. I mean, we could work with the pistons, but I think once we get flight, it should be more than enough in terms of getting this done. So that's the back side with the batteries. We'll cover up with like some materials like this, if anything. We can even do it like this if we had to. Okay, put anything there now, but that will cover it up. We'll see how that works. In the front here is the more important piece, where I mean, what all we really need is going to be a cockpit, gyroscope, and the thrusters and things like that. So I don't know exactly how I want to build it, but let's see. Let's stick that in first. And then of course the cockpit. We could do seats, cockpit, whatever the case would be. Much easier to work with a cockpit, I would think. And the only thing I don't like about the cockpits really is that you don't have a real big choice when it comes to the port. So with large grids, either up or down. There's nothing like in between where it could be like that, which is not the greatest thing in the world. Of course, one way of doing that is making your own. Make it a seat or a helm or something like that to get it situated a little bit better. But I really don't want to make this too big. So if we could just do a helm like this, I mean, or a cockpit like that, that'd be great. Or a seat or helm, whatever the case would be. It doesn't really have to be airtight as well. So there's that. These may be better suited as conveyor junctions here. I don't really have a good design in mind, but we're just gonna work with it. And if we're gonna work with, I don't know how do I do this. Either I just make it as simple as that and just put the grinders here, or on the sides here. That wouldn't be too bad. But where do I want to put the kind of seat? I guess we could put it right here in this case. So it could technically be, yeah. So it could technically be 3 grinders right over here. And I think that should do okay. So we will be able to see pretty decently as well. I didn't even think through about the thrusters though, so we're gonna have to find a way to do the backward thrusting and everything like that. It's not gonna burn down any ships while I grind. So there's always that. Alright, so it looks like I left room to do things like this. Alright, there you go. So technically, yes, we could put a cockpit there, we could seat there, and then we can make doors and everything like that as well. So it doesn't really matter exactly how I do this. You know what? We could utilize the new helm or the bridge helm like this. I don't know how airtight it's gonna be with the what's it called right back there. I don't think it's gonna be airtight. If it is, if the cargo's right there, would it be? Probably not. But then again, like I said, it doesn't necessarily need to be airtight. But I do need it so that I can get into it though. So that's another thing. No, I'm gonna scrap that. That's not gonna work out regardless. Alright, I'm gonna have to put a cockpit here. I think. That just makes more sense. Don't really like the look of it like that, but it's gonna have to do. Okay, and then from there I could design around it if necessary. Although I should probably not worry too much about all that craziness. Like right here we could do kind of like these half blocks if necessary. Won't look great though, but no. I wonder if this would look okay with these windows here. The bridge slope ones doesn't really look that great. Oh, I forgot they had this one here too. But what if I moved everything up a little bit? Maybe then I could utilize the bridge. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to at this point. I kind of want to use that bridge helm. Why? Because why not? That's the main question. Okay, I should really move the turkey over up front so I could do this a little bit better, but whatever. Okay, so I could move this up front a little bit better. That means I can get rid of this one and do that instead. I'm just gonna place this block for now. I'll come back to that. We have space to put stuff here as well, which more than likely is gonna be just regular blocks for now. Since we did it this way, it gives us the opportunity to get a little bit further out. So, bridge helm here. Oop, that's not the right one that we wanted. Okay, so we can add this one and this one on this side. And we should be good. We don't necessarily need the ones that I found, although it would have been nice to utilize that. These right here. Like this, because we don't have any windows gonna be able to cover the top, I think. But either way, it's not gonna work out because we need to cover it back here anyways. So more or less, well, actually this doesn't really work out as great as I thought it was gonna be anyways. Shoot. Because we could put these, but it's still exposed on the back side. which is not what I wanted. So if I could close that out, it'd be better. I don't think we can though. It'll be kind of like this and close it out, but it's still exposed back here. So we're not forward enough for this. It's exactly. It's not perfect. Shoot. I mean, if we moved it out one, maybe, but that's gonna make it look a little odd too. Shoot. Do we move the car container back one instead? Just to make it decent. And it's gonna just make it way too big though. So I guess we just scrap this idea if anything. Or we close it up in the back, but even though we do that, that's still not gonna look the greatest as well, because it'll be placing these blocks like this. Yeah, that looks odd. If only we could find if only they had something that actually closes it out, that would have been perfect. But it's not there. So I mean, we do have regular blocks to work with. Too bad these can't be hauled out. But if anything, we'd be using these right here. Like this. And that's kind of like closing it out there. And here we put a simple type of door. Can we put a door here? Nope. I was thinking of putting some kind of like a sliding door to cover it, but nope, that's not gonna work either. So shoot. That really stinks. Not exactly going as planned. How can we make this work so we can get into the helm? It looks like the only thing we can do is move things back a little bit more, unfortunately. But even doing that, it just doesn't look great either. So I guess we just shut it up for here. But again, it still can't get into the ship with a door. That's another problem we're having here. A half block helm type of thing or vault could get in here. Not a vault, whatever that's called. The hatch. Like if it was like this, yeah, we can get in with minor height issues, but that means we just gotta move it back by one. Not exactly what I want, but might be the ideal thing to do at this point. Everything should be attached, yeah. Alright, whatever. We're gonna move it. Not what I planned to do initially, but it's gonna have to do it work. Okay, so we have it back by one, so we gotta have to make this work. So now we can utilize the windows that we really wanted to use. That's a good thing, I guess. So we'll throw in this one on that side, this one this side. And then we'll close it out with regular blocks here. Like so. And the door wise, I guess we could stick with the hatch. Or we use a half door. I don't even know if this is going to work, to be honest. It's a little bit on the dicey side when it comes to the amount of space it's got as a half kind of door or offset kind of thing. All right, we got to give it a test though. So put in the hatch. Well, I guess we could just touch it like this. I mean, that could work, but kind of crawling into it seems to be a rather rough thing. But we can't even close the door, can we? I guess we can. We're gonna kind of sprawl underneath just to get to it. I don't know if I like that idea, but it's nice and compact, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. We need some kind of thinner door, which we don't have. Or a hanger can work, but I don't think we're gonna use a hanger in this case. Not much we could do here. A hanger would need me to throw this backwards a little bit more once again, so that's not gonna be great. All right, we're gonna leave it as that. I think that should be okay for now. Although I did say I was going to make this as simple as possible so we can get on with grinding down all the mess that we have here. So the front, ideally, we would have done this. And there should be a decent block for this here as well. Not that one. Want to be a little bit more smoother than that. It wouldn't even look that bad if I did this. But it wasn't the block I was going for, but it gives that extra like look to it. That's why. I don't mind sticking to that. And the rest here would be like the minor little designs here, which we could just utilize this block like this. And end from there. In terms of the car container, I am gonna get that kind of looped around a little bit too. Not sure exactly how I'm gonna do that, but I think we're gonna need something like this to make it look decent. And then that way it looks like it's locked in. We'll do half blocks there. And kind of like this, if anything. Alright, that's going to be as good as it's going to get for now, right over there. And the rest is basically, I mean, more or less the same thing in terms of the design. And then we're going to throw in all the nifty things, such as a gyroscope and such. Back here's got to be conveyor junctions. So I also got to think about that too. Where do I want to put the junction at, or the connector at? Bottom or the back? I'm not a big fan of putting it in the back, because I always got to back up everything. I like it up front, but in this case, it's not going to work. So maybe we have to do one on the bottom, unfortunately. And we could do it like very close in the front bottom, if anything, too. That wouldn't be too bad. So then that means we don't need one a junction here then. Yeah, we could put one right over here or here. Probably right here, I would say. Something like that. That should do okay. Alright, we do have two separate spots here as well to put stuff, which could be, it could even be a reactor and a gyro there. I believe that's covered up. Yeah, it's covered up, so it doesn't need to be steel plates. I do want to put probably a gyro here, if anything. Do I put a reactor here? Maybe not. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. It would help with power, but not like we have a lot of uranium, so there's also that. But I guess we could try it. So it helps power it up at least. I mean, the 4 batteries that we have is going to be more than enough power, but if we need it, at least we have it in that case. That's all set on top. Bottom wise, we should be okay as well. We could utilize some steel plates here like this, just in case. Or even plates would do fine. I'm afraid doing it too close, I'm going to have this as a problem to connect. But it does help protect the car container like this. So I would like to add that there just in case we break anything. I mean, it is me piloting, so always got to take the precautionary route in that case. Okay, that's good enough for the bottom. All right, now we need to add thrusters. The ion thrusters is more or less going to be just iron thrusters anyways. So I want probably get 6 at the very least, but I think we have more mats for more than 6. So if we really wanted to, we could add at least 2 front, 2 back, and the rest could be 1 each if necessary. Okay, so I'm going to put it basically back here for the 2 backward thrust. And the forward thrusting, we can throw back here with the batteries. I guess it would probably better just be on the batteries. Yeah, I think so. And then we could work with the up thrust and downward thrusts in that case. Not a lot of good spots for this, unfortunately. So we could do left and right thrust like this. But we still need the up and down thrust. So where's that gonna be? Well, up could be right over here. Not up, but down. Could be right over here. We can even get it lower if they need it. Yeah, we'll do that. And we're basically missing upward thrust in an essence. Not a lot of spots to do that, but it could be right over here. Like that. Yeah, that could kind of work. And we could utilize a decent block to do this. Sure. Why not? Okay. So we just need a forward thrusting, which I kind of want to put where the batteries are, but we do need one for now in order to make this work. Okay. We also need one thruster going forwards for now, so we have all directions when we release this thing. So I'm going to throw one right back here. Okay, so we should have flight on each direction. So if we release it and then get this merged on this side, we should be fine. So I would say merge block up top here. No, here, this side here. Merge here, merge there. We should be able to get that in, no problem. So it'll be flush into there. Not sure why we couldn't get the large tubes. But there we go. Okay, so once we release it, drive closer to this side. We should be okay. Gonna remove some of these pieces here. That's more or less removing that right there. So this might not go too well. We'll see. Alright, we ready to release this thing? Nope, it's attached to the refinery because of the forward thrust. Great. That's not exactly what we were going for. So it looks like I'm going to have to release it by getting rid of the refinery, which is a pain in the butt. Alright, we separated the grid with the refinery attachment on there. Get rid of that. Get rid of the little small pieces that are just floating out there now. Now, is this a ship or station is what we need to figure out as well. This connector should be an air vent, if anything. Alright, this thing is not a ship. It is now. So I'm going to try to get close. There you go. That's a snug fit. But we moved the battery over, so that's perfect. Okay. Awesome. Now, if I cut this where we release everything from the grid, I don't believe so. I would hope not. But we're going to change this to an airlock just to make it more sensible. Not airlock, an air vent. It's the air vent that has conveyors on or ports on all sides. So it would make more sense that we utilize that style of seating in the front here. All right, cool. So we just got to throw in that right there. Close the door. And we're airtight. And of course, we don't even have an O2H2 this thing in here. Or an oxygen tank. So what was the point of this? An oxygen tank may be easier to, you know, kind of get. So not a big deal. But yeah. Yeah, I didn't really think that through, did I? Should have just stuck with a regular O cockpit. Which would made it much more easier and efficient. But of course, we're going to go the hard route for whatever reasons. Alright, so we just got to cut these things out here. And then we should be good. I was thinking of doing the thrusters maybe right onto this thing right here. Like that. So we could just grind this one down and transfer over the mats. And we should be released from that refinery there. Alright, there's a pain in the butt to even get into now. We should still be, yeah. We transferred ourselves back to the station when we merged it. But we should be released now, and need another one right over here. And that's pretty much our ship for grinding things down. But we still need to add a little more design to it if possible. We can cover this up a little bit too. And utilize this block. I like this block against this type of thrusters. Here we go. And that's as good as it's gonna get in terms of it over here, I guess. We could utilize this to cover it up. Yep, that would do it. And we'll cover up the cargo this way. Not the best. But that's towards the bottom anyway, so not a big deal. How's it looking on the bottom? Not too bad. Not too great. But it's gonna be good enough. In this case. Yeah, I think that's good enough. So honestly, we need an O2H2 system with ice in there, or maybe an oxygen tank to make this thing airtight, but we should be okay with just the oxygen bottle. We should have more than enough power. We have... yeah, I think we're good. Alright, let's try this thing out. Should really color it, but you know me. Oop, I closed it before anything. This looks like a shuttle ship, to be honest. And by shuttle ship, I mean like some kind of like rescue drone ship or something like that. It's looking okay. It's not the best, but it's gonna have to do because we're using this just to grind down a whole bunch of stuff anyways. So it shouldn't be too bad. All right, so we need to get rid of these refineries and such, but we gotta make sure it doesn't create any loose pieces as well. That has some kind of rep. But at least we have something to help grind down everything. I don't know how heavy this is gonna really get, but it could probably get a little heavy. It's hard to grind with a large ship because it's huge. The viewpoint is really bad. We have a camera or a cockpit in the back, but still really hard to see. That's why we're creating a bit of a smaller version, so you can see a little bit close up in case we don't want to lose too much rep with whatever factions we're mining down or grinding down. So this is the sibling of the duck, basically, grinder style, and not a welder. And I should have just used the turkey, to weld up everything anyways, but I didn't. Because we're a bit in a tight spot here where I'm creating this with the 2 batteries. With the batteries, we got a lot. They were nearly full too, so that's good. Alright, we're losing rep here. On something. I don't know what though. The door? Yeah, that's not great. We're gonna have to hack some of these so that we don't lose the rep. That's why I don't like. That's fine, I already own that. I think it was just the locker. Yep, looks like just the locker. And I could put a camera right over here just to make it more visible, but that just released it and made it look really, really ugly. But we could put a top-down camera to make it look a little bit, so we can see a little bit better. It doesn't make it look better, but you know what? We could add. I'm not liking that at all. We could add like a half block right over here and then add a regular old camera. That might look a little bit better than having that space opened up. Yep, that's much, much better. Okay, I'm gonna check to make sure it's not upside down. Camera. View. Much better. So we can now see what we're grinding, in a way. Kind of. It's right below us by half a block. Or a block, actually, because the camera's sitting on top. Half block probably better, because you probably see a lot better, but it's fine. Okay, so it looks like we haven't discharged all the batteries yet, and we're probably still working on it anyways. So we can't grind out everything that we need to grind out. And I really forgot something too. I was actually supposed to turn this thing into more of a multi-tool where we could weld and grind. So is there a way to still do that? I think so, but that's going to require us to remove the connector here, potentially. Or not. I mean, you could line up grinders and welders together as long as they don't have it on at the same time. Where the welders could be down here if necessary. But more or less, it'll probably be a little bit better with like a piston or something. But a piston is like 2 blocks long, so that's why it makes it even harder to do. So if it's back here, it probably works a little bit better. But then we don't have a good spot for a connection unless we work with the back end, which we kind of didn't want to do. So we could leave it as that. And the welding could be, I guess, right over here. Again, well, it should be a little bit further up here instead. Yeah, it would probably be here. I mean, of course, we also have the thrusters there. That's in a way, so that's not great. But we could do this, I guess. We could try it, see if it works out okay. We just gotta turn on the welding if we want to weld something there, but it's only one welder, so it should be good enough, hopefully. So we take the 2 blocks, put the welding right over here. So we need to weld, we just hit the weld right there. That should be okay. Still not the best, but it should do. So that kind of retires the turkey build, which I build it more for fun anyways, to be honest. more of a holiday special more than anything else. So of course it wasn't necessary to make something that crazy for a welding ship. It also is kind of getting in the way, so that's not fun. Could do it with a hinge, but I don't think we have enough space to do it with the hinge. Right, there's a minor carry over there that's likely gonna probably hit us for no apparent reason, as it has in the past. So we gotta be a little bit careful of that. All right, I think more or less what we need to do is focus on this thruster components, because that's what we really need, because we have not finished building out our main ship that we're gonna go venture out and start doing some battles and prepare ourselves for the contact stuff, which is the frontiers, because we need to finish building out right there. I think it was just one thruster that we need to finish building out, and then we wanted to put some jump drives where the hangar is, so there's also that. I think we have enough now to weld this together, right? I think we still have another one over there in the front. So this welder is holding up okay. It's not too bad. Welder, grinder. Yeah, we didn't do this one right over here. So hopefully we have enough. We might not. Thruster components. Yeah, we don't have enough, unfortunately. We're missing a good chunk still. So that is the main reason why we built this. Just to get the thruster components out of the other ships as quickly as possible. And I mean, it's doing okay. Got a lot of scrap though. Alright, we gotta really start moving and grab all those thrusters on the sides there. Each one's 80, so we needed, I think, close to 400 more, unfortunately. Yep, that mining carriage is getting way too close. It's neutral with us, but it might not be neutral with some of my other ships that I have here. So it might come and start shooting at it, which is, I'm okay with it. We got as much out of it as we can anyways. And me taking out all this right now makes it even easier. But we can also take over that mining carriage, which it does have a good amount of ores in there. So there's also that. Okay, I just want to be sure I take out big thrusters before it comes to destroy it if it does have some conflicts with them. It's definitely going to come and hit us. I'm pretty sure of it. I could get to it before it decides to do that, if anything. Once it gets close to like 1k, just in case, we'll take it over if we have to, and then dock it with our stuff here so we can get more materials out of it. That's a potential thing we can do. Jeez, yeah, we have a lot of thrusters down here. Lots of thrusters. Lots of ion thrusters. We'll just grab that. Alright, that thing's 1k away, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna fire upon us. So we're gonna kind of check it out. We could just disable the turrets for now and deal with it later, if anything. I knew that was gonna happen. Alright, so that's disabled. And this ship is really, really easy to take over, so I might just take it over. Why not?
Inventory full. Inventory full. Inventory full.
And there you go. That is taken over. And we can add this to our pile of ships, basically. Don't know what it shot down, but it's fine. As long as it didn't shoot my other ship. We could keep it. Ooh, this thing was way, way too fast sometimes. Keep it around here. If any, I think I just hit the ship. um, we'll claim it. Why not? And what we need to do is just grab all the ores from here. So we'll just hack all the cargo containers. Actually, should really merge it first beforehand. Maybe I could merge it right over here. And merging it will prevent us from losing too much rep. Because once we lose too much rep, we're just gonna have enemies with everyone, and that's definitely not something I want to deal with. At least yet. Maybe one day. I might not be able to connect here. I probably can connect over here. So I'll throw the merge block right there. We're missing stuff. Large steel tubes and computers. Ooh, I forget. The front thrusters or forward thrusters. Quite strong. Alright. Here should be good to attach. There. Perfect. Now I could go to town and grind and hack everything I can out of this without losing rep. Okay, more importantly for now, hack the large cargo containers. So we can hack the connector here. And basically grab what we can out of it, which is more than likely a bunch of ores. Right there. Nice. We got gold and platinum. Awesome. Guess we could just type in ores to get the rest of it out. More gold, cobalt, magnesium. So that's what it is good to take these mining carriages. Although, I guess if it would pass by me and not shoot me, I would have kind of let it go, but that wasn't the case. So, free mats for now. Alright, there we go. Iron thrust is up and running. I think that was the last one that we wanted to get done. And then from here, I don't even know if I'm going to fit in here, but I did want to put a what's it call it here too. Ooh. Nope, I was wrong. I'm missing a thruster on that side too. So gotta get around and get there. But yeah, I want to put a jump drive in here on both sides, so we have 3 jump drives total, but we need to seal it up as well because we can't have it being shot down so easily. So one thing's first. How much superconductors do we have? 30. I think a jump drive takes what, 1,000? Yeah. So we need 2,000 of these, which I don't even think we are going to be able to generate potentially. But we can see because we did get a lot of gold just now too. But I think these thrusters cost gold. Yes. We probably spend it on thruster components as well, but we can always disassemble them, so not a big deal. Because I think we have more than enough thruster components now for the ship. We're gonna get to the other side without crashing this thing. That's more or less just there. I think the smaller ones we took care of by hand, so we should be okay there. So we just need to get this one done, which we have, again, significant amounts of thrust components right here. So we could just dump it in and then dismantle it. So we have the gold for superconductors. All right, that's all set. This thing's getting way too heavy right now. I could probably dismantle this mess of a ship right here, the turkey, because it's unnecessary to have that. I have no place to dock this thing appropriately, do I? I should probably dock it somewhere around this side. Right over here, if anything. I hope that is good enough when it comes to the thrusters back there. Okay, we could throw... I guess we could do this, if anything. We'll make it high enough so we don't break much of this here. Alright, we should have more than enough mass to just kind of weld this all together and then we'll get into it. Beautiful. Perfect. Okay, so maybe one thruster on some size is not enough because we're holding... Wow. Not even a quarter of the large cargo container and I'm struggling to fly a bit. So maybe need to add a little bit more thrusters when I get a chance on this thing. Otherwise, it's going to take a lot longer to grab stuff later down the line. Okay, we're locked in. We could recharge the batteries if we need to, but I don't think we need to at this point. And yeah, we had 3,000 of the thruster components. And there's still some more made too. We made a lot actually, which we didn't need to do. Okay. So we're just going to dismantle it for the gold because it does have a good amount of gold. And that's what's going to give us our superconductors. So gold... How much gold does superconductors? 0.67 and we get back 33. Okay. So like 2 thrust components will give us one. Enough for 1 superconductor. So it kind of works out. Doubled up. Yeah, I think we should be fine. We still got a lot more to go here. And plus our refinery is going to work too. Did it do all the gold already? It did. Okay, so that's tough. That's rough. So we got more work to do in terms of grinding down everything else. But more or less we gotta check out how we're gonna do this also before we call it. So we have our red ship. We said we want to maybe move these tanks because we don't necessarily need them here. Although we could do this with the tanks. It's hard for me to rely on these because there's a chance that they might get exploded when it gets shot down. It probably changes out to some other material of anything so it doesn't get shot. But we're gonna do this to kind of safeguard it for now. Not the very best safeguarding, but it's gonna have to do. Minor protection. That one's actually almost full too in terms of hydrogen. This one, not so much, but I think we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna make sure we protect it somewhat in terms of being shot, because we really do not want this thing to get shot down at least too easily. So we're just gonna have to make this work somehow. Okay, so that's that. And almost ready for battle. So let's see. The next piece is the hangers right over here. So we could lay it. Let's see. This is the outer side and this is the inner side. I guess it would be more protected on the inner side. That means this connector may need to go. Yeah, I think that's going to be the case here. I mean, we can leave it for now, but it's going to get covered up. So the jump drive right over here. Or what we do is not do that. And when we steal the jump drive from this here, we put it in here. That might have to do, but the problem is it's such a far jump. We need multiple jump drives for now. Yeah, I think we definitely need more jump drives for now. And this fits perfectly right over here too. But it is going to cover that connector unless I move it in by one if it's possible. No, it's not. All right. It's going to have to kind of fit right there. So that is where the jump drive is. And I feel like we should do heavy armor blocks to cover it up right over here. We should. I think. And we had a door here on the other one, but we should be able to work on the other side from there. Okay, perfect. Okay, we'll do that. We'll put a door. Okay, we had an offset door. Like that. Then we should be good to go. For now, I think our best bet is to... I don't know if our welder is going to be able to get here and weld everything up, but we could utilize this conveyor junction here for now. If we want to go that route to get this connected. I just need to find a port now so I can grab stuff. I guess we can grab it in turrets. Okay, this should be fine. Do we need a piston? Probably. Because if we did this with a piston, we can have it rotate a little bit. Not rotate. We're going to move it forward and get that all kind of welded up right there. Okay, so put this here and a welder. Is the welder going to reach it if I just did it on the piston as such? Yes. And it's pretty much the only way to be able to touch it anyways. So we do this. I don't know if that's gonna... Is that gonna do everything? I hope so. If it does, great. If it doesn't, then we'll figure it out. In terms of the jump drive, however, I think we can get it connect. Yeah, we can do a welder right here. Get that done. So that wouldn't be too bad. We reverse this and it should take care of the rest there. And that way we don't have to spend too much time going back and forth, getting these metal grids in here. And that seems to be done. Perfect. Now we can remove it. And of course we could do it on the same thing on the other side. But the ship itself, my welding ship should be able to get into it to do this one. But if not, then again, we could just plug in the welder right over here anyways. I mean, we could just throw in the welder. This would even be perfect to protect it from damage too. Yeah, that kind of works out. Yeah, we don't have that much superconductors. Or detector components. And power cells. Jeez. Don't think we needed much, but yeah, we didn't need much. So that's gonna do its thing, basically. Should I fill it out on the other side as well? Probably not, right? Because we could steal it for the prototype. But I don't know. I mean, once we steal it for prototype, then we can think about dismantling it, maybe, I guess. I mean, we're not dismantling it now. That's also something we could consider, I guess. Alright, put these blocks here to protect it again. And we'll put in a door right here. And as well, there's nowhere close to that. So we'll just do what we did before. We grab one tube, a piston, and a welder. Welder's good. Piston's good. Tube is good. And that's perfect. Alright. Turn that on. Reverse this. You don't need this anymore. And that is done. Perfect. Okay, we're still, ooh, ouch. We're still missing a lot, but do we want to do the same thing on the other side? Is the question now. Probably, because look at the unidentified signal. It's 5,914 kilometers away. So I think we need multiple jump drives to make this work. And eventually, yes, we could replace it with, we could replace it with the jump drive later down the line. Actually, we got everything kind of messed up there on the other side. We didn't finish. We did not finish everything on the other side, did we? Oh no, we took that Gatling off because it could get burned down. I don't know if it will. The block difference. So we didn't add a Gatling there for some reason. And we had tubing here right next door. I don't know why we didn't on the other side. Right? Or am I just not looking at that correctly? Yeah, we didn't double connect it with the tubes. Which is fine. A little bit difference on both sides, but yeah, it is. It's not a big deal. Okay, so this side already has a wall, but it's not heavy. It's light armor. But if we, yeah, but we could still put in a jump drive right over here, which is going to take a while for us to get. Which is fine. All right, so it was an air vent here. Is why it made it a hole here. But this is what we're going to need anyways, because we want to keep it nice and secured when we're in battle. So we got that going for ourselves. And we need more detector components. Okay, there we go. And we're still dismantling a whole bunch of thruster components, it looks like. Pretty sure we have more than 99 left, right? Yeah, we have a lot. We can't kind of right now, so we should be able to get enough enough superconductors for this project. And once that's done, I was thinking about testing out the ship in the pirate raiders if it's still there. If not, then oh well. But we are nearly there. So this here would have been connected to that just as an additive. Or yeah, let's just do that. It was to add it to connect a double side of it, so we just need more tubing if anything. So this should actually be a T shape there, C shape here, and a regular O tube right there. Done. Okay, so on the other side, the opposite side, we had a turret here, but more or less, I'm not sure if that turret's going to survive that right there, which is the large thruster. So potentially, maybe not. Okay, so this thing is not getting any access, so we gotta figure that out too. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. The Gatling would be looking over there, right in here. Hopefully it doesn't burn down. I hope. Alright, so why is this not connecting? This is not getting the ammo. Something's wrong in the inside. This one's connected, so... Yep. Something wrong with this one here. This is broken for some reason. And we got ammo. Perfect. There you go. Just a minor inconvenience there. Not sure what broke that, but that really stinks. We got alternate this. Yep. Is it the same color? No, it's not the same color. Why is this so off? Weird. Okay, perfect. So turret there, turret there. Now did we add some welders on the side here? We did not. So those are not, these can get shot down relatively easily, but these are well protected. And same goes for here. Yep, they're pretty decently protected. All right, perfect. That's all we needed for this project, but of course, we're still missing a lot of superconductors for now. In the meantime, we'll continue to restore the ship's hydrogen, which again, it's taking a very long time to do, although I think we're pretty much there now. I think last we checked was like 93%. Okay, we're at 90% hydrogen on this thing, I believe. So we unlocked, it should tell us the truth. Yep, 90. We're almost there. So basically waiting for our superconductors. We need to still continue to grind down the rest of the ships that are over there. And once that's done, we're good to go. We're going to test this out on the pirate raider that we found over there somewhere. Raider right there. So we're going to have to do a few jumps and everything like that too. Do we need more weapons? I don't know. But before I go, I got to make sure to blueprint it. And if it goes really badly, I'm more than likely going to use a mod, which is build and repair. Because I am more than likely not going to have the time to go in there and repair every little bit and pieces that's within the ship. That would be super, super ridiculous. Okay, looks like we're close to halfway. But again, I'm going to have to do some things off camera because it's going to be boring to just grind out everything here. Although we could probably make a grinding pit or something like that out in space to make it even better and faster. But we don't have that. So hopefully we get ready for the battle on the next one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to drop a comment down below, even to just say hi. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.